What if I told you that the people you vote for, the presidents, the senators, the leaders, aren't truly in charge? What if I told you that for over 100 years, one powerful family has been secretly pulling the strings of American politics, not just influencing, but actually running things from the shadows? It sounds crazy, right? Like something from a spy movie. But the truth behind this will shock you. They are richer than you think, more connected than you can imagine, and they've been doing it for generations. You've heard their name maybe, but you've never known their real power. They hide in plain sight. They fund the campaigns, they shape the laws, and they decide who gets to sit in the most powerful offices in Washington, D.C. They've even put their own family members in key positions without you ever knowing the full story. This isn't just about old money, it's about unseen power. It's about a dynasty that truly runs America, and you need to know about it. Let me show you exactly how this happened. To understand the family that runs politics, we have to go back over 150 years. We have to look at the time when America was changing faster than ever, when men weren't just getting rich, they were creating monopolies, they were building empires. The name you need to remember is Rockefeller. You've heard of them, oil, Standard Oil, but forget the history class version. The real story starts with a man named John D. Rockefeller. In the late 1800s, he didn't just find oil, he found a way to own almost all of it. He controlled the wells, the trains that moved the oil, and the lamps that lit your grandparents' houses. Mini surprise. 1. By the 1880s, Rockefeller's company controlled 90% of all oil refining in America. Think about that. Almost every car, every lamp, every factory in the country paid their tribute to him. His wealth was so big, it was literally more valuable than the entire government budget of many small countries. It was a power unlike anything America had seen. Now, when you have that much money, what do you do with it? You buy power. People think power is about having a crown or a title, but the Rockefellers knew the secret. Real power is making sure the laws are written just for you. When President Theodore Roosevelt started trying to break up these monopolies with trust-busting laws, Rockefeller didn't fight him in a public election. That's for amateurs. Instead, he worked quietly. He made sure the people who wrote the laws were his friends. He made sure the judges who read the laws owed him favors. Mini surprise 2. Even after the Supreme Court forced Standard Oil to break up in 1911, the Rockefellers didn't lose any money. They actually made more. The little companies that split off, Exxon, Mobil, Chevron, were still owned by the family. It was a brilliant move that showed their hidden power to outsmart the government itself. But this isn't just history, this is the foundation for the hidden political power we see today. The Rockefeller family learned how to work outside the voting booth. They perfected the trick: use a public face of charity while quietly building a political machine. Mini surprise 3. They created things like the Rockefeller Foundation. Sounds good, right? Charity. But these foundations allowed them to put their money into specific causes like funding research, schools, and think tanks, all to promote their family's view of how the world should be run. They were shaping the ideas of the nation. Now here's where things get really interesting. The first major revelation is this: the Rockefellers understood that to truly control America, you can't just buy a politician, you have to buy the ideas before they even become laws. Think of it like this: a politician in Congress needs an idea for a new law about health or schools. Where does he go to get that idea? He calls a smart person at a think tank, a place filled with experts who write reports. Well, guess who built and funded many of those most important think tanks? The Rockefeller family. One example is the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR. Since the 1920s, the CFR has been the place where powerful people, CEOs, former presidents, generals, meet to talk about America's place in the world. Their reports often become the exact foreign policy the president uses. They decide where we send aid, where we fight, and who our friends are. The Rockefeller family was a major founder and continuous funder of the CFR. They didn't need to be elected Secretary of State. They just needed to make sure the Secretary of State was a member of their club, reading their reports. Let's look at the numbers. The family wealth was structured in such a way that it poured millions into groups that shaped key areas. They spent their money on what we call soft power. Soft power means changing minds slowly over a long time. It's planting a seed of an idea that grows into a law years later. For example, controlling the cure. They funded the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research. This money made huge discoveries, yes, but it also helped them decide how medicine would work in America. By setting the standards for medical schools and research, they shaped the health policies that the government follows even today. They made sure the system worked best for their vision. Yeah, the power of green. The family was hugely involved in buying and donating land for national parks. Again, sounds good, but this gave them huge influence over government land use and conservation policy, policies that sometimes affected their own massive land holdings and business interests in positive ways. This is the genius of their hidden power. They were the unelected cabinet. They were advising presidents without ever having to face a voter. They were the ones who decided that a new dam should be built or a new park should be created, and then they'd get a friendly congressman to make it happen. Specific example. Nelson Rockefeller, a grandson of John D., was elected to be the governor of New York and even the vice president of the United States. But his entire political career was simply the public face of the family's long-term plan. He was a Rockefeller sent to the Capitol to do the family's business from the inside. He walked right into the White House on a political path that his family had paved with over a century of money and influence. This first revelation is simple. The Rockefeller family made America's political thinking their private business. They ensured that for generations, the only people allowed to have the big ideas were the people they paid. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. Their influence set the stage for a new, even more secretive family to take the hidden hand playbook and turn it into a political weapon. If the Rockefellers were the architects of the 20th century's hidden power, then the Koch family are the ruthless masters of the 21st century's secret political war. The Kochs, led by the brothers Charles and David, built a massive multi-billion-dollar empire, Koch Industries, one of the largest private companies in America. They make everything from gas and oil to paper towels and asphalt. Their secret weapon? They learned the Rockefeller lesson perfectly. Keep the business private, but make your political influence public and then hide the funding. Layered Fact 1. The dark money machine. Unlike the Rockefellers, who mostly used tax-exempt foundations, the Kochs built a complex dark money network. They created and funded dozens of non-profit groups like Americans for Prosperity. These groups spend hundreds of millions of dollars on elections and lobbying. Let's be clear, dark money is not small money. In a single election cycle, the Koch network has promised to spend nearly $1 billion to influence who gets elected. No political party can match that kind of private money. Layered Fact 2. Buying the grassroots. The Kochs don't just pay for ads. They built a ground game. They pay for people to go out and knock on doors, organize rallies, and pressure local politicians. It makes it look like a huge, natural grassroots movement of regular people. They use the strategy of structure of social change. It sounds like a college course, but it's a political attack plan. It says you must build 3 things: